Greetings everyone, and Great here of another Age of Empires 4 replay. So on bottom left side is the green golden horde. Well, that's not the right color. We have Scarlet Devil, which is also not the right color. Spawn top right side is the blue Sengoku Daimyo. We have DeMu. Not liquid DeMu, as I always know him as, just DeMu. Of course, as with the new civilizations, I've not casted the Golden Horde just yet, so let's quick look. It does retain the full population like regular Mongols. Got the gear here, but does use different skin, which is very nice. But it cannot pack up and move around. Let's see. Two economic farming upgrades now, which is for the farms. Increased pastures gathered by food by 10% does not apply to herded sheep. They get access to stockyards, which is basically the cattle ranch equivalent. Food drop-off, harvestable food source. Use a village to gather food from the sheep carcasses. Up to 4 villagers can work each stockyard. And I'm assuming super herded sheep means through the wild sheep here. We have now the Golden Tent, the Age 2 landmark now being built. Contains upgrades that will advance through the ages. Batu Khan and his Tugurd can be deployed at this field. Can activate edicts, exchange bonus provided from fortified outposts. Of course, this is the only tent you can, or landmark you can get, the Golden Tent. You can see here, costs 50 gold, like the House of Wisdom. Bruce Tribute, Batu Khan, and Tugurd. It says H2 landmark, which is simply not the case since he's not H2 just yet, so that's probably a little bit of an oversight there. Reduces the first and get Khans and Tugurds, reduces the stone cost of the Khan and Tugurds by 20%, increases their health by 30%, by 30, not 30%. Or can go for produces 2 building carts, which can be unpacked in military buildings. Additional building carts are produced when advanced to later ages. Although it's currently providing nothing, just provides stone. Let's see, currently the default edict is activate to increase the health of nearby units nearby a fortified outpost, plus 10. Fortified outpost. Must be able to upgrade outpost to fortified outpost. Production edict increases the production speed of the Golden Tent nearby military structures by 20%. Activate the military tent in buildings within the influence of a fortified outpost. Produce additional Karash whenever this unit's recruited. When the stockyard edict is active, the stockyards within the influence of fortified outposts generate gold upon being worked. Very nice. Companies aging up to reduce the cost of the Khan and Tugurds by 20%. Right now they cost, Batu Khan costs 140 and Tugurds are 200 or 150, 200, so that's quite expensive there. Excessive cavalry with high health and melee armor, effective versus melee units, protect the Khan when nearby by redirecting damage to themselves, can heal the Khan while out of combat. Heavy armor, high health, automatically improves with each age, countered by spearmen, crossbowmen. While Batu Khan is heavy cavalry, automatically improves per each age, only limited to 1 Khan, but for 150 gold, it's probably very cost effective. Melee cavalry that buffs attacking nearby allies while the Khan is attacking. His opponent is aging up to the Royal Khan, increase the population by 60, which is very nice. And units that enter its sphere of influence will get a weak health regen, out of combat health regen buff, which is very nice as well. There's a stockyard there. You can see them collecting up the sheep now. It's not really entity sheep, it's more like it's just a marker from the collect from, if it makes any sense. And it looks like they're going to be upgraded by twice. I'm assuming the second one costs another 10 as well. It does cost stone as well. Assuming this gets collected at the same rate, stockyard does cost 150 wood. We got a Khan and a... Nope, first got the Torgard and the Batu Khan being queued on up. Next possible age up is Conqueror Swords provide larger shields, heavy infantry, and heavy cavalry. Increase the ranged armor by 2, which is nice. But they're already pretty resilient to range attacks as well, so it's not super great. Would also be generated at the rate of 200 per minute, which is pretty nice, but is reduced by 2 wood for each unit equipped with your shields. I wonder if that gets restored if they are no longer alive. Here's the Tool Guard there. It looks like they right now have 270 health. Age, 3 Knights and Lancers have 230 health as a comparison. So their base health is 240. 10 damage is not great, but does use Man-Arm's attack speed. With some charge attack, so it's just heavy, but not super high damaging. Let's spot the Yati there and start taking it out. We do have a scout here that was probably scouted out earlier. Yeah, 10 damage is not great whatsoever. That's basically man-at-arms damage. Well, at least they have good armor, but for the price, that's... I suppose they're just a heavier version of Knight, but weaker damage. It's hard to say. Knights, in theory, 1v1 should be actually pretty effective versus them, since they have pretty low damage. The armor that they're fighting against would be somewhat effective. Here's Batu Khan, who's probably should be accompanying them. Gets plus 10% damage, then age 3 plus 20% damage, and below age 4 plus 30% damage. So that's pretty much why their damage is so low. Golden Khan Aura increases damage by plus 2 as well. So there's probably the reason why these guys' damage is so low is meant to work with the Khan itself, which seems quite reasonable. You can see here the plus 0. Looks like scouts are probably actually meant to be prevented from getting that effect. You take a bit of damage there. They can take damage for the Khan. Does get attack there. We do have the Sake Brewery there, which will give him some free gold. Let's take out some of those units here. These units are taking quite a bit of a beating right now. More of the heavy cavalry forward. They have 18 charge damage, so yeah, it looks like even with the 2 charge hits, it'll take 2 more melee hits to get the kill. Looks like these guys take a bit of damage there, looks like. They are receiving some health regen from the Khan himself. I don't see the effects there. Maybe I need to switch streams. Players? I'm not sure. I just don't... never mind. Because it looks like there's maybe some configurable bonus, but I just don't actually see it. Maybe something back at home. We do now have the weakened units being picked on off. Outpost does get raided. I currently do have green selected. And there we go, all the villagers are now left free, but since they're not super high damage, they will manage to run away. There's a Sake Brewery there, it does give some good gold generation. I wonder if this got nerfed. Last time I checked, the gold generation rate was pretty high. Nope, it's still very high. Also got the ovos are out on the field. Maybe next player. I think there's some visual bugs when it comes to replay viewer, because I can't see how the maximum builder limit of ovos. Looks like it's 2 at the moment. Add set of fire to the forge. We've got relic ovos now being researched, which will provide... Shamans can consume a held relic to build an ovo, which exceeds the build limit. Increase the ovo stone gather rate by 20%. That's interesting. It says consume the relic, which means the relic will actually disappear, so you can destroy relics. That's what it sounds like. There's some villagers there. We do have a mounted samurai here. Of course, does not have deflection, so they're actually just basically renamed the Lance variant. Got ability being activated there. And it's starting to fall back now. Couple spearmen help out the Golden Horde. Gain some damage there onto those mounted samurai. You can see here, 230 health, 4 armor, 24 damage. As opposed to right now, the age up has not been completed, but right now 270 health, but only 11 damage. Luckily, spearmen are pretty useful at the moment. Right now, blue is gone for level 1 wheelbarrow. We don't have the food carts being utilized at the moment. Large number of stockyards now deployed in the field, just happily gathering food away at home. Right now, I'm assuming these are kind of the same gathering rate of food. It is actually food drop-off, so it should be a very quick drop-off. We have an Eco Kiki Monk deployed in the field, offering 13 damage, man-at-arms attack speed, with good amount of health, no armor. It's religious melee infantry, but it doesn't suggest they are light infantry, let alone heavy. Spearman there. We do now have the cavalry movement speed increased by 10%, horse training. Apparently the horses do need a bit of training. There's another food cart here. Currently providing 60 food per minute. Looks like it does get capped out at 60 food per minute. The boar does increase by up to plus 40, maxing out it immediately. Got a number of spearmen there. You could perhaps kill off some sheeple. Now these guys up to 310 health, 280 base health, 14 damage, so they've got a decent amount of damage increase. Plus 4, which is basically a knight increase as well, so they do scale pretty well with their damage. Pop 2 columns over here. Does hit the arrow there. Goes for a Wolo. This only proves cavalry's damage at the moment, the war cry ability. Kills off that monk. So I'm engaged now with these heavy cavalry, the veteran Torgard. We got some crossbow in the build queue. Fortified outpost, okay, that's what it looks like. Barracks archer range does have check archers rather than Megidais. Which are age 3, not age 2. I thought I heard some got deployed on the field. It sounds like Ovo props got deployed on the field. Highly mobile range archer, slower against slower melee units, which cause the unit to bleed, so it takes damage over time. And healing will remove the bleed, but does not suggest a firewall movement as an effect like the Magudai. Triple shot, it was basically a reference to the Age of Empires 2. Archer range batch and production increased by +1, does not increase the resource cost of the unit. So here there's 2 population, 2 population, 2 population, 2 population, which means you effectively get a 50% discount, which is quite significant. Right now the archers are 160, so increasing to 3 means their base cost is 80. 80 times 2 is 160. But getting a third one means it is effectively a 50% cost reduction, which is pretty nice. Actually, that's pretty good. These units are being pursued right now. We do have one of the Daimyos deployed in the field, which is right there. Does have the deflection. He's going to be running on back out of there. Batch production. Looks like the fortified outpost has 70 damage. He has a spring gold upgrade onto it. There's some Kipchaks. They do 10 damage, 4.5 range, crossover attack speed. There's triple shot. It says 50% accuracy, so may scatter hit other units or may not. It's hard to say. Projectile units in this engine 10 can usually hit misses can still be hits. At least if it works the same way of other games. We've got some car rushes here. 50 damage, 50 health, 6 damage. Light melee, they're basically militia. They are 3 of the Roost units. They're basically torch carriers. They're not meant to be mean much. They cost 50 food. They're meant just to raid structures. That's your siege weapon. That's your alternative to the battering ram. Spearmen now engaging. Got some crossbows here, as well as the Kipchak archers. Karash armor bonus. In nearby infantry units get +1 armor. So that's the actual another unit for these guys as well. Fortified outpost being upgraded by blue. Sorry, this is my first time casting this faction. I'm just sort of reading a little bit of everything. We got a good number of these archers. They do cost wood and food, like Roost horse archers. I see a poison effect on the arrows, but they have bleeding arrows if I remember correctly. But the arrows look like they have the poison arrows that you can see from the, emollients. You have 3 monks inside the Buddhist temple here. Couple spearmen firing away. Since they do have a lot of projectiles, they should be able to do some extra damage. Though right now, actually the bleed effect looks like does stack, unlike the Menwork, the Zornhaus upgrades, so the extra projectiles may actually do a lot of extra bleed damage, make it a bit more useful. Because the Zornhau upgrade available for Order Dragons didn't actually stack the bleed effect. So with this bleeding upgrade, they actually will stack, so it makes them a bit more effective versus the armor, or the extra projectiles. Doing a great job with the Kipchaks. See, 105 health. That seems the same as Magidai's and Horse Archers. Actually, no, it's slightly a bit healthier than Horse Archers. Horse Archers had the same health as Crossbow for what, 90? Plus 1 damage from the Golden Khan's aura is very nice, but it says +1 there, even though it says +2 here, so there must be some misdescriptions. Primary bow does 10 damage versus the armor of these guys, which are up to 6, so do 4 damage per shot. We don't have any range damage upgrades. If that does apply to all the extra shots, it can be very good. Guess we'll find out soon enough if it does apply to the extra shots. Sending the primary arrow will help out punching through the armor. The extra arrows, it still won't be able to overcome the 6 armor, but against anything lighter than that would be very effective. The Khan will be charging way forward, may go down here. Will draw a lot of fire. And they do have heavy cavalry movement speed, which is better than Magidai. You have a number of these Roost tributes not point of view. They have good amount of health. They're heavy melee, well, not great armor, 12 damage, +3 versus cavalry. Attack speed is slightly higher than man at arms. Movement speed is actually that's with the charge speed. Their movement speed is equivalent to spearmen. Looks like they charge pretty often. That's going to bleed to death. See, +1 damage has been researched, which does... Wait. It applies twice with the triple shot? It was a +4, now it's +6. And they don't have the benefit of the aura effect. Triple shot, that must be a bug, because triple shot's getting doubly affected. That's gotta be a bug. It must be the fact that maybe this is as the same weapon, then it gets applied twice to both weapons. That's my hazardous guess, but that has to be a bug right there. The base damage only got increased by +1. If he gets another +1, then that can be very high damage. Unless there's another upgrade that's getting applied, and I missed that being researched. When a Karash is active, Golden Tent and military beings within the influence of fortified outposts produce additional Karashes whenever any unit is recruited. That could be very nice. Get extra numbers going. Of course, it's not the Roost Tribute. That's the guys who just provide shields. Battlefield Salvage. Gain +2 range armor, +2 melee armor, increase health by 25. But is their upgrades. I wonder if there's any siege workshop. Let's see, blacksmith. We do have the increased supplies, increased production speed of military buildings by +50%, which is greater than military academies by a small margin, from 33 to 50%. Siege engineers still be the same. We got the university techs over here. That still seems all the same. Another OVO looks like trying to be established, or maybe not. Well, since OVO is depleted, but still provides some stone income, which is very nice. I wonder if any stone arm is being researched. I think that's the extra batch. Not sure. No, that's actual. That's age up. I'm an idiot. That's right there, not below it. Stone armies. Golden Tent can rapidly produce units at a discounted stone cost, and Roost tributes are upgraded, increase the armor, and their bar dicche at however axe or however you pronounce that. Veteran Yari cavalry pushes the way forward. Let's find this OVO. Let's see. Still says it's still maintaining the stone income, even though this is now technically depleted. Goes for +1 damage. Hasn't gone for the second +1 damage, so maybe he's aware that it is bugged out and doesn't want to exploit that fact. If that is the case, that's good sportsmanship. If you know there's a bug and you knowingly exploit a bug, that, in my opinion, should be a suspendable offense, temporary suspension. Going +2 range now. He is aging up, so I wonder what the interaction is. This is also assuming this is actual bug, because 4 to 6, as I mentioned before, and I think it's because since it has two weapons, the same weapon, both of them got +1, but it's also applying the +1 to both of them each, if that makes any poor sense. Do not have the sword hunt statue being researched now. Sword hunt statue. Daimyo cost decreased by 50%, increase the Daimyo aura attack speed bonus by 20%. Level 3 Daimyo estates will spawn levies 100% faster. OVO's taking some damage here. We now have the Step Lancer or Sorority Lancer's upgrade. Increase the Keshik. That is definitely the wrong description, I believe. Well, no, Keshiks still exist. H2 Keshiks. We're going to get the same healing as Keshiks. This gives Torgar and Horseman +2/+2 armor and 20 health. That's pretty nice. We got a good number of these guys here. The +2 range damage. Yep, it got double applied again. That is clearly bugged. We do now have the ovals increase oval gathering ceremony, increase oval gathering rate by 30%. Got a number of frontline heavy cavalry, got a good number of the Kipchak archers. And I'm pretty sure Incendiary is still available. I wonder if that would get double applied. He is going for biology now. Ovo's now under fire. Or at least being set to the torch. Couple spring gold outposts here. The extra arrows, of course, like Chuko News, not Chuko News, Zunch News, offer a similar effect of the extra damage caused by the extra arrows. Those torch down some of the mats, which makes me wonder if the... Okay, will get replaced. +3 range armor being researched. Biology is now being researched by blue. Got blue's units falling on back now. Got these forces advancing. Right now the Golden Horde is at max out population. Blue is nowhere near maxed out. More of these cavalry charging way forward now. Right now, green has quite a bit of force here, just outnumbering blue's force by a significant margin. Of course, blues have a much more higher quality army, and the Yari cavalry is anti-range, which will send bonus damage to the range cavalry here. However, this area is very urbanized, giving some good fire capabilities there. These guys now, right now, actually the +3 range damage didn't actually provide any additional damage to the secondary arrows. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but those the arrow upgrades is really bugging out on these things. There goes that food cart. More of these units push right forward. A couple of these heavy cast tool guards going on down. There's not really getting an army on the field. Trying to go for more of the Yari cavalry. Have a couple Daimyos in the field. Now, not only they get bonus emphasis range, they also get a bit of bonus emphasis cavalry, so they're a pretty decent counter unit there. Yari cavalry do have the deflection ability available to them, and they are somewhat more expensive. These horse archers are just here in very large numbers, and Luna's go ahead and resign. This is Angry saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.